All right, so we got a pretty large box here. I think it's gonna be the Highlines from motobilt. Gonna put them in the garage, see what we got. I think we can have a pretty nice bonfire with that. So it comes with a battery support. So we've already got the driver's side off of here. So I guess it'd be a good time to see if it fits up, if this is what it's for. Kind of go on those bolts and then those down there. And yeah, I guess that's what that's for, is for the inner fender to mount to. So it pushes it back closer to the tub, which you guys saw we kind of did a little custom job on the passenger side. So here's the fenders themselves. And then there's the hardware for the plates that go behind here. I'm actually going to be cutting those logos out. Looks pretty simple. It should just, slap right in. So definitely doesn't look too complicated of an install. We'll have to see, but they're definitely heavy duty. I mean, you guys can see how thick that is, and this is very nice craftsmanship. So I mean, everything looks very, very nice, high quality, very, very stout. All this up here, it just looks amazing. So, but a lot of people, I think, probably would end up drilling a hole right here for an LED, so I might end up going that route. But I mean, definitely looks very nice, that curve and how that's bent. So that looks very, very good, very professional, high quality. Factory, you can see how thick that is compared to sheet metal, which is what they use from factory. Yeah guys, check this out. So like when you kick a stock whole entire fender, like inner and everything, you can see how much it waves. That's just crazy. So like basically the entire fender, like the outer fender and all that's just this sheet metal. So you gotta think, when you're in an accident, it's pretty much just you and the frame. So I mean, you just have like a thin piece of sheet metal that goes from here to your grill. So soaked it in degreaser, rinsed it off, and then I went back over it, soaked it in degreaser again, scrubbed it off, rinsed it off, and now I'm about to go over it with some acetone. Main layer of manufacturing oil off, which is nice. So that'll help us be prepped to throw some primer on soon. So I was working on painting the Highlines for the TJ, and I got a text from my sales guy at Hendrick, and he sent me a picture of the Gladiator on the loading truck. So I rushed to the bank right before they closed and got the check made up and everything. So we're back here getting ready to go get it. Well guys, as we were about to go get the Jeep, they had an issue. So he called me and told me that it got damaged in the shipment process. So thankfully it wasn't too bad, but it just like messed up the front bumper. So he sent me a picture of it, and he said that they cannot sell it to me, like a discount or anything like that, until they fix it in the body shop. So I guess we'll figure out tomorrow how long that we need to wait until they fix it, until we can go buy it. All right, in the meantime, let's get these fenders painted. All right, so it's nighttime, as you can tell. I got a coat of paint on everything. As you can tell, it's still kind of tacky, so it looks terrible, just that coat. But that's the inner fender for the driver's side, and then I got a coat on the outside. So here's the fenders. They're freshly painted, and let them sit outside and dry all night, but they turned out really good. I like them a lot. Yep, paint turned out good. Looks really nice. Definitely gonna do the job for now. All right, so I got the inner all fitted up. So I had to put it in, take it out, put it in, you know, quite a few times to get it right. But basically I found with this motobilt support here, there's 2 holes that are adjustable, you know, being a longer slot, so you can put the bolt, you know, anywhere in this range right here. So I just put the inner up there and just kind of mocked it up. I initially drilled the hole kind of like in the middle, but I saw that it was pushed too far this way. It was leaning on the brake lines. So I was like, okay, I'll have to pull it back out and move it over like an inch or so. Drilled the hole there, and that's where it wanted to sit. So it looks really good. As you can see, it's pushed all the way back. I actually put the edge over something, stomped on it, and bent it back a lot more. So that way it's tucked up there nice and even with the fender. So looks really good. I found a bolt and a factory little nut cert style tab thing that sits in there so it tightens down very nicely and secure. And I got lucky on this one. I pushed it up and I saw where it was sitting. So I put a factory bolt to this factory hole on the grill that's threaded. So I just literally bolted that right in, and it's even. We do have a little gap, as you can see, looking at it from right there. But when you look at it from on top, it's not really much of a gap. So obviously it's not gonna be perfect trying to reuse a factory inner fender. You know, you're gonna be kicking all this dust up and mud and whatnot. It's not gonna be going past the inner fender. So, you know, you've got coverage all over. So, and I left the bolts loose for the fenders because I'm about to tighten those up now that we've got the inner fender secured and where we want it. So this is where we have mounted the evap system, or whatever it's called. So these naturally sit where they want to, so there's no strain or anything like that. I zip tied the other side to the brake system here. So basically what I did was I popped off the factory bracket for this little canister here. Reused this factory bolt, just drilled a hole right here. This is where this kind of wanted to naturally sit, kind of resting in this little area where the power steering fluid reservoir is and the coolant reservoir is. So we've got the wiring all zip tied up here, you know, in this place, so it's nice and clean. And we've also got the harness zip tied back here as well. That's pretty much a wrap for relocating stuff on this side. You know, we're not going to be reusing the windshield washer tank reservoir because it doesn't work. So haven't had it for a long time, so it's kind of irrelevant for us, but I assume there might be a way to cram it in there. All right, so not a bad cut for the first initial cut. Just kind of did it on the bottom of that lip there, so we have plenty of material to go back with the flat disc and kind of clean it up so we don't have you know, any huge gap or anything between the fender and the hood. So all right, so that's the bottom of the hood right there. That's trash. All right, so the hood is pretty much cut. The worst part is really just kind of staying straight, which is not too bad with the angle grinder and the cutoff wheel. So I mean, as long as you got plenty of protection, you know, I had my face mask, everything like that, all covered up, thick jacket, everything, and gloves, of course. Hood is propped up on a good surface too, so able to really just kind of have a good grip and be steady and just kind of let it cut itself. There's a lot of clearance here. Well, yeah, we got to come up a good bit, so looks like we're gonna have to cut and kind of go up a little bit towards that line. So this is all the scrap material metal from the bottom of the hood that I had to incrementally. So it's done. Learning the hard way of realizing you can't just cut along that line. It's got to kind of cut along that line on the upper portion, and then you kind of have to like go up in this area. And on the inside of here, there has to be a lot of material removed for this to sit on the grill like that. So a lot of on and off, and I actually got to the point to where I had something spacing this to where I left it on the Jeep. So that way I was able to trim it and kind of lay it back down and kind of go back and forth. kind of like went up in this area a little bit and kind of followed the line to make it look a little bit less obvious that there was a latch there. Definitely scratched up the fenders, you know, sliding the hood on and off, but it's all good. So we're gonna mask it off real quick, pull it outside, and touch it up. And we're gonna paint these black as well, so they blend in a little bit better. Just very happy with it. It looks extremely good. And it's gonna look even better when we put these new wheels and tires on. Been doing a lot of work getting the hood right, so they got the gap and everything all nice. Hood is not laying on the fender, which is sweet, because we sanded it back down to bare metal, just on the tops. Gave it a nice coat of fresh paint. Paint turned out actually a lot better because they got rid of those runs that was on the last paint layer, so definitely looks right and taken care of now, so that's amazing.